My favourite ever console game was Red Dead Redemption 2, and my favourite ever VR game was The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. So in this video, I thought, what if I mixed the two? What if I tried beating the entire main storyline of The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, but only using guns that are in Red Dead Redemption 2? And in case you didn't know, Red Dead Redemption 2 is set in 1899. The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners is set in modern day, meaning over 70% of the weapons in The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners I will not be able to use for this challenge. So out of all the 31 weapons in The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, for this challenge I am only allowed to use 6 of them. The 30 caliber revolver, which in Red Dead Redemption 2 is the double action revolver. The lever action rifle, which in Red Dead Redemption 2 is the carbine repeater. The bolt action rifle, which in Red Dead Redemption 2 is the bolt action rifle. The National Guard knife, which in Red Dead Redemption 2 is the hunting knife. The National Guard knife was the closest I could get to it, which means I have banned every other knife from being used. I am only allowed to use that one knife. The bow and arrow, which in Red Dead Redemption 2 is the bow and arrow. And the double barrel shotgun, which, guess what it's called in Red Dead Redemption 2? The double barrel shotgun. And throughout the whole video, throughout the whole main story of this game, I am only allowed to use these 6 weapons. I am not allowed to use anything else. So what you need to know before the game is there's 2 sides in the apocalypse, the Tower and the Reclaimed. The Reclaimed wear red, the Tower wear blue, and these 2 factions want each other gone. The Tower does it by having more gear and having more people, almost 3,000 members, but the Reclaimed uses scare tactics like satanic rituals and hanging people up by their feet. There's something else everyone in the apocalypse wants, the Reserve. This is rumored to have weeks and weeks, maybe even months of food, infinite materials, loads of weapons, and everyone wants it. We met a guy called Henri who said he got a lead, and he told us to meet him at the graveyard if we ever need anything. So now, we're going over to the graveyard to meet Henri, and he said, if we work together to get the Reserve, it's a 50-50 split. And I'm doing all of this as Arthur Morgan. So I go to the graveyard, and when you spawn in, there's actually a knife in your bag, but it's not the National Guard knife, so I get rid of it. There's also a screwdriver here, which you're meant to use, but I don't, which makes it extra awkward when I run into my first zombie, because I have no way to kill him. So I go into this room, which, little tip, there's always an axe in here for you, but I can't use it, and guess what else was in there for me? Another zombie. So I just shot the gate on them. It's not like they can kill me through a gate, right? I find this dead tower soldier and take some intel off him, and then I meet my third zombie, which I give the same treatment to. And then there was a bunch of dead tower and reclaimed soldiers. Obviously, there was a mass shootout here. And then we see Henri. So, yeah, he didn't make it. I mean, he's alive right now, but point is, his base is now our base. We take the bus, and inside the bus is our first usable weapon in the whole game, the 30 caliber revolver. We start putting the radio back together, and he said to answer it with the code Waterfall. We recycle some of his items, I shoot him in the face to stop him from becoming a zombie, because that can happen, and then I go to sleep starting day 2. Day 2 starts with me collecting these 2 boxes of loot, which I then recycle to make a National Guard knife. And now that I have 2 out of the 6 weapons I'm allowed, which is 1/3 of them, I go to my first location, and I meet this woman who's asking me to kill her husband for her. Basically, her husband turned into a zombie, and he asked her, if he turns into a zombie, he asked her to kill him, but she couldn't do it. So I agree because I'm being high on Arthur, and she gives me the key to go to the room, and while going there, I get my first zombie kill in the whole video. Pretty cool. And then keep going over, and I climb in through the top story window. I go into this room, get the microphone for the radio, and then I go downstairs, make light work of these zombies, throw this knife, kill this zombie, and then realize the knife I threw got sent into the wall, which is pretty cool. And then I use the key she gave me to go into the upstairs room. I use Deadeye on her husband, and then I get my third usable weapon in this whole game, the double barrel shotgun. So I go downstairs, I shoot these zombies from the window, absolute sniping, and then I stab this guy. As I'm going back to her, I recreate the iconic Arthur Morgan pose with the double barrel shotgun, but then this zombie's like messing it up, so I just like deal with them. I go back to the lady, give her her wedding ring that she wanted so dearly. She gives me a code to a safe as a thanks, but honestly I don't even use the safe because the only thing in there is a gun and a crafting recipe for another gun, neither of which I could use, so yeah. I then give her a pat on the head and leave. I attach the last part to the radio and make contact with this guy who's acting suspicious. He says he knows who we are, he's got eyes and ears everywhere, but when we ask him about the reserve, apparently he says he hasn't picked up anything and he knows nothing about it. But then this lantern goes off scaring him, which makes him even more suspicious, but we go to check it out, and we need a key, so we have to go through these catacombs, which are honestly really scary. But we get the key, we get inside, and there's a note left for Henri telling us that we need to go to Via Corolla and get this intel. So I think Henri's dead, I might as well do it. So I go to Via Corolla, take out this zombie, and I go into the garage here, and if you ever go to Via Corolla, never leave without going into this garage. The amount of loot here is crazy, it's amazing. You will always get whatever you're looking for in the garage. 90% of the time. But then I cut these wires, go to the fountain, take the stuff, get into a minor shootout, lose some health, but it's fine, because I return home with the intel, I deposit it into the coffin, and that's just straight up supernatural. And the game tells you to pass the time, and you're meant to go to a location, get some loot, but if you just sleep 2 times until the late evening, and then the next day's morning, it counts as skipping a day, so... There's also some stuff for me on the table while I wake up, which guess I just means they were in there while I was asleep, so, I mean, that's scary. I can choose to talk to the guy on the radio, or go to the lantern, so, yeah. So I go to the coffin and take out a letter from May, saying that she's ready to meet me in person at the churchyard. So I speak back to the guy at the radio, and he tells me his name is Casey, and he also said he'll tell me everything he knows about the reserve as long as I do him a favor and get him a pump regulator in Memorial Lane. So I meet with May first, which means I have to go through the catacombs, and this is my 7th playthrough of the game. No matter how many times I have to go through these catacombs, it always scares me. It's just so narrow and dark and zombie-like. But anyways, I meet with May, and we come to an agreement that I will take Henri's place. Basically, she will keep sending me the supply missions, I will give her the intel, and I get to keep the materials. The only problem is the materials are usually weapons that I can't use, but... One of the materials is a crafting recipe for the lever action rifle, which is the carbine repeater, so that's good. Anyways, I do what Casey asked me to, and I go to Memorial Lane, where I speak to this guy called Jeff, and he tells me that his brother, who is a tower member, has been captured by a reclaimed gang, and he's asking me to go free him. When I climb in through the window and get to them, the reclaimed guy says that the reason they stole this tower guard is because he ended up killing his daughter. However, the tower person tells me that it was an accident, he didn't mean to, and he was just following orders and that he regretted it. So I either had a choice to kill the tower member or the 5 reclaimed members. I did choose to kill the reclaimed members and save the tower guy, and after doing that, I end up getting 2 revolvers, 2 radios, I loot the house, and then I go back to the other house in Memorial Lane, in which the person says I can take anything from their house, not to get greedy, although it doesn't really matter because you can actually take everything in their house and they won't attack you, but yeah. So I actually find the pump regulator and the dial, and I take it back home. I then go to sleep, and when I wake up, I check out my crafting recipes. I upgrade one of my benches to level 5, and craft a bow and some arrows, which is, helpful. And now that I have a revolver, a knife, a bow and arrow, and a double barrel shotgun, I'm pretty sure I'm well geared enough to do May's mission, where the payout is actually the carbine repeater or the lever action rifle, which is my favorite gun in this whole game, so, that's a good thing. So I pull up to the area I need to. This map is in the ward, and this basically involves the biggest shootout in this game so far. There is bigger ones later on. I'm not going to be yapping through this whole thing, because this is actually quite entertaining to watch, so... And then right here, I pick up my 4th usable weapon, my favorite gun in the game, the carbine repeater, and I also got the crafting recipe for it. So this is gonna go so well. And with that, I am super happy with how that went. I didn't die. I came very close though, like extremely close. There was a lot going on. However, I did manage to get the intel for May, but much more importantly, I got the lever action crafting recipe. The lever action gun is not only one of the guns I can use for this challenge, which already makes it exciting, it is my favorite gun in the whole game. It has the highest caliber in the whole game, which means it does the most damage. It does the same damage as the bolt action rifle. The only difference is if you're fast enough and skilled enough, you can shoot 2 shots per second, which, since this is my 7th playthrough, I am skilled enough to do that. So I have finally got the crafting recipe for this gun. Not to mention, this gun is the whole reason I made this video, but I come across these people who are a separate faction, and I needed to get past them in order to get home, and like they start like yelling at me. I try to distract them, and I get nervous, and I guess I lost honor here or something, because like this person wasn't shooting at me yet, but I got nervous, so I just shot them. So, I mean, oh well, it's not really like there's an honor bar in this game, so don't even think it matters, but... When I get home, I craft the lever action rifle because I'm so proud that I have the crafting recipe. However, I'm not leveled up enough in the gun bench to craft the ammo for it yet, so I need to level that up a bit more. I put all my guns next to each other because I'm proud of them, and then I go to sleep, and it's day 7. I have spent a week in The Walking Dead as Arthur Morgan. When I wake up, I talk to Casey, and we get the pump flow regulator ready to install. However, we've not installed it yet, so I need to go over to the churchyard and install it somewhere. And he said there'd be a big light, which might attract some zombies. I go over to May's mission, you know, I put the intel where she wants it, and then I go over to Casey, which means I have to go through the catacombs, which is always scary. And then when I get there, I have to kill this zombie, take his guts, smear them on me, and if I sprint, kill a zombie, or undo the guts, then they will start attacking me, so I have to walk slowly. I install the pump, I start walking back, and I don't know what happened because I didn't sprint, I didn't do anything, I was just walking normally, but for some reason the guts stopped working, so yeah. I get back home to Casey, and he's on the radio, and basically he tells me he's located another pump flow regulator, which is good. He also tells me all the information I want to know about the reserve, considering I did the last pump flow regulator for him. He tells me the reserve is real. He also tells me he's trapped in it, and he can't get out, and the reason he needs me to do these pump flow regulators for him is because water is building up and he's going to drown, unless we do all these pump flow regulators, which will open the doors to the reserve, let him out, and let me in, giving me all the materials I could ever want. Sounds like a good deal. So I go to Bywater and I meet this guy called Devon, and he says he has a mission for me and I need to go on the other side of the building to hear it. When we get there, Devon tells me he has a boyfriend called Justin, who's a tower soldier. However, Devon is a reclaimed soldier, meaning they can't meet, otherwise they're going to get killed by the other partner's teammates. So, he gives a letter to me that he's hoping to give to Justin about running away together, leaving the tower behind, leaving the reclaim behind, just living alone in the apocalypse in a shack or something. So I go over there, I go up there, and I give the letter to Justin about running away, and he says he's thankful. He gives me a letter in return. However, on my way back, I'm stopped by this girl who says she knows what's going on and she wants me to stop it. She doesn't want these two being together because, you know, reclaimed and tower do not mix. They're meant to hate each other. So instead, she gives me a breakup letter to give to Devon from Justin. And then, on my way back, I see that these two people who have a gun and a knife each get killed by one zombie. The tower's meant to be the strongest faction. I show them how it works, and, you know, I mean, they're already dead, there's no point in showing them, but these zombies tasted my knife because I'm Arthur Morgan and I'm that cool. Anyways, I make my way back, I kill this zombie on the way because, as I said, I'm Arthur Morgan and I'm that cool. And then I have the option to either give him the breakup letter or the real letter. And I give him the real letter, I let the two run away together happily, and that's it. He gives me the key that I need, I open the key to the warehouse, I open the door to the warehouse with the key, and when I'm in there, there's a zombie there, I stab him, my knife breaks, yada-dee, yada-da. I get the pump flow regulator, I get everything I need, and that's basically it. I go back home and wake up to another drawing from May's daughter, Ambre, and another food offering. I upgrade my gun bench to level 9, which means I can finally craft ammo for my lever-action rifle, but I can't make it right now, so I need to track that recipe. I also level up my other station to level 5, which lets me craft arrows now. And then I talk to Casey, and we could talk about installing the next pump regulator, because water's up to, like, his knees now. So, this is another prime example of why I love the lever-action repeater, or the lever-action rifle. I mean, that was glorious. But I install the next pump, go back, and then I get May's intel, another mission in Old Town where I need to get more intel for her, which is basically all of her missions. This is another prime example of why I love the lever-action rifle. And then when I go in, there's a compound bow, and while in Red Dead Online there is an improved bow in Red Dead Story Mode, which Arthur Morgan is in, there's not an improved bow, so I cannot use the compound bow, I can only use the basic one. And then I shoot this guy on the way out for no reason. Then I go home where I recycle my materials and then give May's intel to May. When I get back, Casey asks for a favor on the radio. Basically, he used to be a National Guard of the Reserve, him and 4 others. He didn't care about the other 3, honestly they were, like, mean to him, but he cared about one of them called Kenneth, who was like an older brother to him. He says I might find them in Rampart, and he wants me to go to Rampart to look for them. So obviously, me being the great friend I am, I go to Rampart and look for Kenneth. I find him, but he's not actually in the best shape, but he tries to talk to me, but he couldn't wait. These tin cans scrap for 1 nuts and bolts each. I desperately need nuts and bolts, but Kenneth continues talking to me while I'm picking them up, and he tells me to tell Casey not to let the guilt eat him up. He's very happy to hear Casey's alive, but more importantly, he wants me to tell Casey that it's not his fault. So naturally I get curious and I asked him what happened, and when Casey, Kenneth, and the other 3 were National Guards of the Reserve, when the zombie apocalypse broke out, many people tried to get into the reserve to be safe, and they shot down all of them. No matter the age, the ethnicity, no matter how innocent they were or not, if they were trying to get into the reserve, they were gunned down and shot. Yeah, Kenneth also says that before I go, he doesn't really want to turn into a zombie, so he kind of like asked me to shoot him and stuff, which is, yeah. But anyways, I get back to Casey, and I ask for his perspective on what happened, and I also tell him that Kenneth said that he killed the other 3 to make it right. So, go on, Kenneth, you're pretty chill. I then do May's final mission, which involves me going to the Shallows. So guess where I go? The Shallows. Alright, so this next mission I have to do is I have to go into the main house in the shallows and gather stuff from a table. Just intel like usual. However, this one is crazy. There's a massive shootout, and just like the other big shootouts in this game, I'm not going to talk through it. After all that, May better be really happy to see this intel. It worked. In fact, she was so happy about seeing that intel, she met me in person again. Basically, she said she's going to be helping all the refugees, people who left the tower, escape. Because her husband was killed by the tower. She used to be a tower soldier, but she was exiled. So now she's part of a group called the Exodus, and she's taking a final boat away from here. She's never going to be seen here again. She's taking a bunch of people who have chosen to leave the tower. However, she also said something else to me. Something that I'm telling to Casey right now, which is actually going to be able to get him out of the reserve. Since she's left, she is leaving me with the reserve key, which means I can now get Casey out. All we need is one more pump flow regulator in Bastion, so I'm going to Bastion. And I am heavily prepared for this mission. I've got all the good guns, and I mean, you can already tell that it's not going to be good when I say that. Or it is going to be good to watch. Well, I go to this house, and at the top floor is JB, the leader of the Reclaimed, who do satanic rituals and hang people by their feet. He asked me to flood the reserve. The whole thing. This would kill Casey, this would get rid of the armory, this would flood everything. He gave me the code. The whole reserve would be gone. He thinks the apocalypse is better without it. He thinks we don't want people fighting for the reserve. We want people fighting to survive. Fighting for something that's never going to truly exist. He sees it as a religion. He sees the reserve as a religion. So, if JB's up here, and it's just one guy, why do I need to be so heavily guarded for this mission? And I didn't even kill him. I'm just not going to speak from this point on.
Finally meet, tourist. After all the hype, you're not exactly what I expected. Thought you'd be more put together, bit more danger to your presence.
You know who I am, but I'm not sure I know who you are. I have a guess, but...
I'm Georgia.
So, with that, I just killed the second in command of the tower. So, yep. I mean, that's good. At least JB's still alive, right? Yeah, I have no idea what happened. I swear I didn't kill him. the whole point of this was I was trying to keep him alive because I support the Reclaimed over the tower. But I guess not. So anyways, now that I have the pump flow regulator because JB gave it to me, I promised if he gave me the pump flow regulator, I'd flood the reserve. I'm lying, obviously, I'm not going to flood the reserve. Casey says this next part needs to be during nighttime to keep it discreet, which is a very smart idea. Make sure it's nighttime so no one knows what's happening. I also crafted another revolver so I could dual wield them, you know, like when you have two holsters, so that's pretty cool. And then I used the reserve key that May gave me to get into this room, where I then install the final pump. Alright, so this next mission, the final mission, is going to be crazy. It's why I got two holsters to hold two revolvers on each hip, because the max firepower we can get, the better.
Need to be prepared for anything. Okay, here goes. Fingers crossed. Oh, yes! It's working!
The massive light in the sky is a dead giveaway of where the reserve is, which is a pretty big giveaway that there's going to be a bunch of people trying to fight for it, so... As soon as I get there, the first thing I see is that Ombre has been killed. May's daughter has been shot. And from this point on, I'm not really going to speak, because the rest of this game is just peak.
Who died?
Umbra. She...
Are you the one that killed May's daughter?
No, but... It was our fault. We were desperate to get back into the town.
We climb in and we're able to talk to Casey again because there's a radio in here, and well, he tells us that in order for us to keep him alive, we have to flood the armory, which means we'll get nothing. The whole reserve, every single piece of good loot, all the good items, all the weapons, will all be gone, but Casey will survive. Or we can choose to flood the comms room, which will kill Casey, but we will get all the supplies. And I know I said I'm trying to go high on her, but I mean, the reserve is the reserve. Supplies are supplies. And then there's also the code to flood everything, 1006, which would get rid of all the items, all the loot, and kill Casey. But, I mean, come on, who actually picks that? So here's the grand choice. Flood the armory, where we get nothing. Flood the comms room, where we get everything but Casey dies. Or flood all. Yes, I chose to save Casey. And as I'm walking to meet him, you can see all the people him and Kenneth were talking about. Like all these innocent people that were gunned down while trying to get into reserve. However, May is starting to lose it. She is not happy that her daughter was killed in the crossfire. She thinks that these people are just animals who only care about materials, which they kind of are. So she wants them all to die. She's threatening to ring the bell, bring all the zombies here, and everyone outside will die. And Casey doesn't want that to happen. And I have a choice here. Either kill May and stop her, or let her and everyone outside dies. Casey told me there was a few items down here which I could scavenge, which is pretty cool. I think it's even cooler that I can check out the room he was in this whole time. Except the only difference was the water was up to, like, his waist. He was scared of drowning, but... oh well. There's some cool weapons in here, like the shotgun, which would be cool if I could actually take it, but, you know, Arthur Morgan never had this in 1899, so no. And yes, there was a pump shotgun in Red Dead, but it looked nothing like that, and that is too modern. But this bolt-action rifle is pretty similar, so I can use that, take all the ammo. And with that, that is the end of the main storyline. And yes, I did say main storyline. There is a DLC for this game, which involves another storyline, which takes place after the reserve, where you play as the same character that is trying to get all the items back from the reserve that were stolen. And if you want to see a video where I do that as Arthur Morgan, then get this video to 100... no, that's not right. Get this video to 50 likes, and I will make a part 2 to this video, where I complete the full game, including the DLC, as Arthur Morgan. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. My previous video got me 40 subscribers. I'm on 130 something now. So thank you so much for the support on my last video. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye.